Hey there, listener. My guest on the show today is Matthew Evans, who is a UK drone pilot who also runs a very successful blog site, matthew-evans.info, where he talks about all sorts of race events as well as does product reviews. And recently, he was invited to compete in the American DRL, the Drone Racing League. So I wanted to get him on the podcast to talk about what it's like to be a professional drone racer. So give it up for Matthew Evans.
All aboard the hype train!
Choo-choo, motherfucker!
And we're live. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's really good, thanks. How's it going for you?
Oh, it's not too bad. It's the first question I've got for you. What is the weather like there today? What's the forecast?
Cloudy as ever, unfortunately. Forecast a bit of rain, but hopefully we'll get some flying in.
Are you in double figures?
Weather, I'm afraid.
Yeah, totally. Are you in double figures? Because it's what? It's almost summer there. It must be almost summer there.
Yeah, it's kind of 12 to 14 Celsius, so it's not too cold, not too hot.
Oh, okay. And you're in the Midlands, right? Ish.
Yeah. So I'm based in Worcester.
So you're not too far from my hometown. I was Telford. It's not too far.
Still waiting for you to come back so we can go flying again.
Yeah, I know. Well, last time I was only over for a week. I was visiting my grandparents. Yeah, well, you said there was a Tamworth race on. Was it Tamworth?
Yeah. I can't remember now. It's a while ago. I think it was Tamworth, yeah.
Yeah, I think you said there was Tamworth. Yeah, I was actually super pumped to come over and actually bring my quads over. But I think the time just didn't quite work out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been following you for quite a while now, for probably well over a year, and mainly what I first heard about you was through the website. Your Matthew Evans.
Okay, yeah, the blog.
Info. Yeah, so I mean that's been going. I did a quick whois on that, and that was registered back in 2011.
Yeah, I've had it for ages. Just never really done much with it. I kept trying to do blog stuff for years and years, and I just never really found any interest in it. And then as soon as the quad stuff started, it's like, oh, okay, I'll try reigniting that flame and try doing it again. And it's kind of just stuck, really.
Are you tracking the hits and stuff on there? I mean, have you seen quite an explosion on there?
Yeah, I mean, since I've been doing the quad stuff, it's kind of just ballooned. I didn't really have any analytics before. It's kind of just dormant, really, just from my email. But yeah, since the quad stuff, it's doing pretty well.
Okay. And I mean, what did you originally register it for? Just like your own personal website? Yeah,
it's just personal website and personal email address.
Yeah, it's kind of what I used mine for. I kind of registered these domains, and then you don't think, one day I tried to do blogs because when I first came over here, I used it for putting news and stuff on and things that I was doing over here for my relatives back in the UK, and that was my primary use for it.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
But ever since then, I've just used it for my kind of domain name. I've tried the whole blogging thing a few times, but it's just like I do a few posts, and then I just find the effort of putting them together, because yours are quite lengthy and quite detailed.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, I never planned to get into doing writing. I mean, it's never been a strong point for me personally, and I've never really enjoyed it that much. But with quads, it's kind of different. But yeah, I mean, doing a whole post takes a long time. I have so much in the backlog right now; it's just ridiculous.
do you have to? I mean, do you have to pre-plan them before you do them? Because I mean, It's almost like you're telling a story each time you go on there, because what I really loved is going to the website and you could follow along with exactly what you were doing, and it was almost like you were there. I mean, does it take a long time to put those together?
It takes a ridiculous amount of time. Yeah, I mean, it's trying to do it all in one go. I mean, when if you've got like a product review, you've got to go and fly it and build it and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Trying to keep that as sort of close together as you can so that you remember what's actually happened is really tough. When you've got stuff going on, racing events to go to, real life stuff, and it's tough. Yeah, I mean, I have to write a ton of notes for it just to make sure that I remember everything.
Yeah, because I mean, you've got the race day reviews on there and what you're doing for those, and you've got product reviews. I mean, the product reviews are quite a recent thing, though, aren't they? They're not. You didn't start off doing that.
No, so originally it was kind of just race events because we didn't know where racing was going to go. And I was just like, it could go big or it could stay small, but it's something to look back on maybe if I ever want to start reading my own stuff again.
You would.
Pardon, sorry.
I was going to say you're world famous now, or you soon will be.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy where stuff's gone, really. But yeah, it kind of just started off like that, and then people started reading it. It's just kind of gone from there, really.
Yeah, I mean, do you get requests for things to put on there, or is it mainly just you get kind of reviewers just sending you stuff to go, here, I'll put this on your website, or I'll review it and see what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I get some strange requests, and there's a lot of stuff that I actually turn down because you get all the sort of micro toy quads and all that kind of stuff that I don't think's really useful or relevant to anyone. Plus, it's a hell of a lot of time to do a review, and doing it for a $20 cheap Chinese drone is just pointless.
Yeah, totally. I mean, do you find there's more time that you're putting into the website versus your kind of YouTube video presence, or I mean, do you have a preference for one or the other?
So there certainly was. I mean, I've kind of ramped up YouTube since the DRL stuff.
I see that.
But yeah, before then, it was kind of just a secondary thing, and even to be honest, even Instagram was primary before that.
Yeah. I mean, that's
easier
one of the things
followers,
I
it's more rewarding, Because I think
it seems more relevant
nowadays is tough.
Yeah,
unless
especially
you're Sorry, Karen.
No, I was going to say the YouTube side is definitely hard to break into now because everybody's doing the same sort of thing. There's a ton of awesome pilots.
Yeah, that's it exactly. And unless you've got people out there who are big already sharing your videos and stuff, it's tough.
Yeah. So I mean, what's your Instagram following at the moment? Have you checked it recently?
I haven't. I think it's around 4,300 or something.
Jeez.
Let me check.
That's pretty good.
4,340.
I mean, do you get anything through that at all? Do you get any requests for, I guess, for advertising stuff through there, or not really?
No, I haven't so far.
I don't know what the cutoff is for Instagram. I think it's pretty high.
Yeah,
and you have to be like a hot chick with yoga pants on and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Or Mr. Steele.
yeah, that's right. So I mean, going back to your kind of race events that you've been to, I had a look through your website, obviously, just to get some information, and I had looked through your race results, and you've got a ton of race results.
There's quite a few on there.
Yeah, when they go back to 2015, which is about when I started racing.
Yeah.
I mean, for a start, when did you actually even get into drone racing itself? What year was that?
That's a good question. So I've flown remote control planes and helicopters for about 11 years now.
Okay. Yep.
So I was actually quite early getting into them. Started with tricopters, the David Winterstealth sort of coffin frame. Flew those around line of sight. I can't remember when that was now. Maybe 2014 or 13.
Oh, did you get a lot of hate for that?
No, it's just it was a pain. I mean, stuff. Setting it up and getting the PIDs right was horrible. You're on this KK2 board and doing all this PID tuning. It took literally weeks to get it to fly good.
Yeah.
And of course, FPV came along, and I don't know. It was probably, I'd say probably end of 2014.
Okay.
That I probably started flying quads FPV. It wasn't really serious or anything. It's just the next evolution for us, really. Some guy got one of the kits and we thought, okay, that's pretty cool. And then a few months later, we all started getting them.
Okay. And did you move to other frames at all from there, or did you still stick them on your tricopters?
Yeah, so my first frame was probably the same as most others. So I had a ZMR 250.
Yes.
I was the cheap version, I'm afraid. So some of my friends had a Blackout 250, but at the time they're always out of stock. Yeah, expensive and hard to get hold of.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the other thing as well is for your first FPV quad, you want something that you're not really going to care about and smash up too much, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, the problem back then as well was everything was so flimsy. I mean, we were running 1804 motors, that
Yes.
they just break if you look at them. It was just horrendous.
Yeah, dodgy wiring.
Yeah, I mean, my first quad was, I think actually before the ZMR 250, sorry, was when I first got my 3D printer, and it was a printed frame. And as you can imagine, that did not end well. It was flat plates, exactly like a ZMR 250, but with 10 times less strength.
Did anybody over there ever run wooden frames? Because I remember hearing about wooden frames a lot that people were putting together. Did anybody ever run them over there?
Yeah, we had some. I've got a close friend who's quite big on YouTube called Crezzy. And he had some old sort of 300 style frames, and yeah, they're just made out of wood and like Corex plastic. But
300 frame out of wood.
Yeah.
Oh, did they just disintegrate whenever they went in the ground?
No, it's actually really strong. Whenever he crashed it, it would just be fine. Yeah, it's amazing.
I always thought that they would just disintegrate and just go, confetti everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't that much wood to it. It's kind of just wood for the arms, so it's a hate frame. And then in the centre it's just like a box that you had. But yeah, it looked amazing.
Old school, yeah. Because I watched your when I was looking at your YouTube channel, I went back right to the originals, and I saw your your ZMR 250 car park, your second time in a car park, and you take off, hit the ceiling, bounce off the ground, and then you go forward, and then all you can see is just ground, and then you level out, and then it's ceiling. Yeah, she's constantly hitting stuff.
Those are the days. Horizon mode as well, then.
Oh, really? Oh, that will explain the full tilt, and then back off again, and then full tilt. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was the annoying thing, because you put the sticks full forwards, but if you leave them there too long, it self-levels again. So you kind of have to always move the sticks. Yeah, it did for me. I don't know if it was a weird version of Beta Flight or Clean Flight that I was on, but yeah. I stayed in Horizon mode for a long time.
So I mean, you were around for that whole the whole base flight, Clean Flight debacle and the old Time Cop and stuff. Did you ever follow that on the RC groups at all?
To be honest, I kind of kept away from it. The community back then, especially in the UK, was pretty small. I mean, I didn't really fly with anyone else apart from the people I'd already flown with for planes and helicopters.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't until sort of the first race event where I started meeting other people who flew sort of racing quads. That was where I met Luke and all those kind of people.
And obviously that first one that was Rebound. And where was that?
Yeah, that was a chap's land in Stafford.
Oh, right, okay.
So it was more of a plane meet, but they sort of did a quad race as well.
Yeah,
that was certainly
that seems to happen back then.
Yeah. It's not so mixed now, but
no. I mean, I guess how have the clubs kind of taken on FPV over there? I know over here we've still got a lot of people that are like, we're not quite sure we'd separate them off. It's almost like the heli plane thing, because I came from helis as well. It's the same sort of thing with quads and FPV. It's like, we'll let you play here, but you have to go off in the corner somewhere. Is that the case there?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately the same here. So my local club, at the moment, they don't even allow quads. So
really?
Yeah. So I've kind of been one of the weird modelers in the UK where I've never officially joined a club. Had insurance and all that kind of thing, but always flown, on fields that we're allowed to. But unfortunately, most of the clubs here still kind of, as you say, it's the plane versus heli thing. It's just it's something unknown that they don't really know about or care to know about, and so they just disallow it. There are some quad clubs that are only quad clubs, which is pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
So we're starting to see more of those.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we've got this kind of a similar situation. It's kind of evolved a lot more now. Because obviously New Zealand's a lot smaller than the UK. I don't know. I mean, what sort of numbers are we talking about for FPV pilots over there now? Like rough numbers.
That's a good question. I couldn't even begin to imagine, to be honest. Probably 250 maybe, I'd say, that we've seen at total events, since 2016-ish. So there's a fair few, but you still tend to see the same people.
Oh, okay, at events.
Yeah, it is getting better. So the past couple of events we've been to, probably half of the faces are new faces.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's really good. There seems to be a lot more people coming into it now.
What sort of numbers are you getting at actual race events?
It kind of varies. So a lot of them are sort of getting bigger, so maybe 50s.
Wow, okay, so they're quite big.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, we never really see everything outside of New Zealand. I mean, New Zealand, we typically get sort of 15 to 25 on a big event, and that gets quite busy. But when we look at the multi GP, and there are like hundreds of pilots, and when we went to crazy. Hawaii, there was 1 million pilots, and they couldn't get through everyone, and 2 tracks, and I mean, are you seeing the events over there becoming more professional? Because I remember when I saw, obviously in the earlier days, I saw a lot of the UK tracks like Western Park. That really caught my eye, because that was looking pretty legit, and obviously a lot of the tracks have made it into the simulator.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that generally across the board for races, that they're looking more professional, or is it still kind of a little bit amateurish, I guess?
To be honest, it's still kind of mixed. So the people that organise events and have done for a while are kind of getting more equipment, and you're seeing all the cool tracks with high gates and everything. With the new clubs that are popping up, I guess they've got not as much budget, but the tracks are still looking pretty good. There's some which are kind of Hawaii style, if you want to call it that, where they're quite long. But I think that's just an experience thing, and I don't know. You always see that. I don't know if that's a thing that's just here, but maybe you see it as well. Newcomers, you'll see big open tracks where you'll have one gate sort of halfway down a straight, maybe. So they've got good time to line up, and then sort of as they progress, tracks get harder and tighter. I think that's what we've seen in the UK anyway. I mean, with the Rotor Racing guys who have done tons of events.
So what are the Rotor Racing guys? What is that, like an organisation, like a multi-GP equivalent, or? No,
so they're actually just a group of guys that basically started running events. So they've done most of the big ones last year anyway. So UK Drone Show, God, I can't think of any events now. Mini Air Show, probably, I don't know, 60, 70 or 80% of the events that were on my blog are probably by them.
Oh, right. Okay. So, yeah. And do they do like the I-Series and stuff as well?
Yeah. So they don't do it so much now, but yeah, they were the original guys that were doing the I-Series.
Oh, cool. So, I mean, I guess across the border, is it those guys that are still running the majority of the bigger events, or are you seeing that there's I guess a push for more legitimacy from was it the BMFA? No, what are they called? What's the British?
The BFVRA.
Yeah, those guys. Are they looking at putting in a formal kind of racing series, or are they not really that interested?
Yeah, so it's interesting. The BFVRA has gone through a lot of changes and a lot of people. As ever with organisations that I guess are non-profit. I used to be the membership secretary, and I kind of stopped since DRL just because I knew I wouldn't have enough time. But I think what we're seeing at the moment is there's a lot of new clubs that are opening up their own races. So particularly up north, we've got a ton of events which we didn't have down south whatsoever. But it also means they're kind of running events frequently, and they're actually looking into making mini leagues, and I think that's the way it will go. So that's good. We have what we call British Championships, which is kind of our nationals, if you want to call it that. And to get into it, you have to go to qualifying events, and it's based on where you seed in those and that kind of thing. But I think as we get more and more races, it will go towards if you'll get free, maybe automatic entry if you've come within, say, the top 3 in a league of some sort.
Oh, cool. Well, that's really good. It sounds pretty similar to kind of here, I guess. Our equivalent's rotocross, effectively, and then we have the regions do their own races, and we have Auckland Flight Club, which also put on races every weekend, and there's a series for that. And there's cross harmony between all these leagues that we've got going on. So there's always races going on. So it sounds like you guys are doing something pretty similar over there, which is excellent.
Yeah, I mean, it's going really well. I mean, definitely last year you kind of see one race a weekend, and you know that you can kind of make it because there's nothing else on. But certainly on the calendar so far, I mean, you look at one of the weekends in June and there's 4 events on. You just think, well, which one do I go to? It's kind of multi-GP style where you kind of have to pick and choose between, I don't know, you could do it tactically where maybe you want to win, or if you want to go with friends and that kind of thing.
Go to the one with less people.
Yeah, exactly.
With regards to, I mean, have you yourself organised any races at all, or has it always been other people and you just turn up and race?
So I've actually kind of been selfish in that respect. I never organised my own race. Kind of help with track equipment and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'd love to organise one. It's just there's nowhere around by me where I could do it.
Okay,
it's hard enough to find places to practice. Never mind host a race.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I get that. What sort of machine? What's your current machine that you're running at the moment for these races? Obviously, it's evolved from the ZMR somewhat.
Yeah. So I've gone through a ton of frames, particularly with all the review stuff. At the moment, I'm running a TSX 200, which is
a Tom Stanton, right?
Yeah, it's a Tom Stanton frame, so it's based in the UK. I've got F40 Pros, so 2400 kV motors.
Yep.
TBS.
You liking those?
Yeah, they seem really good. I got them a couple of weeks back, and I think I'll be sticking with them for race motors.
Okay, what kV are those?
2400.
24. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'm finding that sort of 2400, 2500 ranges seems to be the ticket.
Yeah, it's a sweet spot between, I think, flight time and speed.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And what's your proper choice?
At the moment, I'm on the new HQ 5x4.3x3. Seems to run really well. You kind of maybe get a bit of too much washout in the corners, but if the quad's light enough, it's perfect.
Okay. So you're on the lightweight hype train.
Yeah.
What's your lightweight quad?
Nah, not too lightweight. I mean, I did have a lightweight quad, and it was around 250 grams.
With props?
With props, yeah.
Wow, okay.
But to be honest, I didn't like it. It was really floaty.
Yeah.
I couldn't get used to it. So this is maybe 320 probably with props and transponder and everything.
Okay.
So it's all right. Normally aim for the 300. Seems about average. But yeah. So yeah.
I mean, I've been playing with it as well. Because I'm on the race flight team, I see a lot of stuff from Brain Drain and a few other people talking about lightweight frames.
Yeah, his builds are always very lightweight.
Yeah, I mean they're ultra lightweight. But I did build I think it was about a 260 gram with props.
Okay.
And I had to put weaker motors on this, so I had to go for like 2205, 2600 kV, and lightweight 50-40 props. And I just was like, it wasn't. When I was doing lap times, I was finding that I wasn't really gaining massive amounts of time over my easier to fly or better tracking, slightly heavier machine.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I said to Brain Drain, I said, what do you notice the most between a heavy build and a light build? And he was like, it doesn't wash out in the corners more. I was like, is that it? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so, and I think for the majority, the tracks that we run over here, the gain is so minimal.
It's not worth it, is it?
No, and like you say, the floatiness that you get when you start to run heavier props to get more speed out of it.
Yeah,
and I was finding I was actually working the pitch a lot more as well, to keep the thing down, because if you couldn't mash the throttle out of a corner and go straight, it would just kind of go up and arc, and it was just really hard to keep that thing.
Yeah,
in the line.
I found the same thing, and then you have to run more camera tilt, and then
Yeah.
If you're at the start of a race, you just crash because you can't learn the course. I didn't like it much, I must admit.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that lighter is faster.
Yeah.
But if you can't make use of this, if you can't make use of that weight in terms of speed, and we're not, particularly over here, we're not at full throttle all the time like we were in Hawaii.
No.
And I don't think you guys are either over there. I mean,
No, we're not
from what I've seen, run similar tracks. So
yeah.
I really don't see the need for ultra lightweight. I much prefer handling and something that goes in a straight line when I punch the throttle.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, so I think like you, I'm around my preferred weight is around the 300 gram mark.
Yeah.
And that's the same for my 6-inch and for my 5-inch. I mean, are you only running 5-inch machines over there? Do you see any 6 inches or?
No, we haven't for ages. To be honest, I want to build another, but I haven't run one for, I don't know. Wow, since my ZMR days, in fact, my ZMR was 6-inch. I was one of the only people.
Oh, right.
So that was on Cobra, I think 2100 kV, was it, back in those days?
Oh, the 2150s.
Yeah.
The 2100s, yeah, I remember those. Yeah, okay, the old Cobras.
Yeah.
I mean, they've made a comeback as well from by all accounts, because they went away for a while.
Yeah, their new motors are really good, the Champions.
Have you tried them?
Yeah, I've got a couple of sets. They're kind of heavy, but they seem to be lasting, which is the main thing.
Yeah, and I've heard they're durable and they're good quality bearings as well.
Yeah.
As long as they don't drop magnets.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, there's been a lot of that from other companies recently, hasn't there? So.
Yes, Emax has been dropping its load quite a lot, I've heard.
Yeah, so I was on Emax before the F40s, but I hadn't actually raced them. So I built them back in sort of the end of December, ready for this year. And I didn't even really fly. They never made it to a race before I flew them. I saw the magnets dropping. It was the 2205S 2600 kV.
And did you give them a proper run at all? I mean, did you give them the run around the track? Yeah,
I mean, I flew one quad a few times, and to be honest, I think the 2600 kV was kind of too high for my style.
They're pretty mental.
Yeah, it does fly a lot different, and you kind of need to run a lighter prop unless you want high amp. So yeah, it is weird. I think the 2400 kV is kind of the perfect setup for me. Yeah,
I see that a lot now around here as well. The 2500 range, and I've got 2500s on 6-inch. I did win some 2700. You know those motors that Sean Taylor was running in Hawaii, that he put those 5051s on, the 2700s. I won a set of those. So fuck it, I'll put those on.
So they're 2207s as well, aren't they?
No, they're 2206.
Oh, 2206.
I think they're based on the R3, I think. I think they're the R3, the Brother Hobby R3s.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of the multi-star ones.
No.
Was running.
I would never run those. Would you ever run those? I don't think anybody runs those. Let's be serious. So I've got to say those are trying a 5-inch. On all my friends, I've switched completely to stretch frames. Now I know that you don't run stretch frames, do you?
No. So I was actually flying one this weekend, and I don't know. It's okay. You
still don't like it?
No, I'm not. There's something about it. I don't know what it is.
It's the cornering. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it just handles so much more awesome, and you cannot handle it.
I don't know. I mean, so I've played with stretch for quite a while now. I think I've got 3 frames. 2 of them might be built up still, I think, and I've got one in for review at the moment. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something that I don't gel. It just doesn't gel with me. Really? I don't know why.
Just don't like it. You've got the Astro frame though, right? As well.
Well, that's not stretch. So what have I got? So I've got an XB frame at the moment, and I've got a friend who cuts his own frame, so I've got one of his, but that's 4-inch.
Okay.
I've also got the Orca.
Oh, okay, the old Raceflight Orca.
Yeah,
well, Shinron's Orca, which is pimped heavily by Raceflight. Have you flown the Orca?
Unfortunately not. It's still on the wall.
Oh, come on. What are you doing? It's the Orca is the maximum height machine because not only is it stretched, it's also race flight, like heavily. You might as well just got a race flight frame, and it's got a pod on it. It's like triple hype.
Triple hype. So you're easily going to be at least twice as fast.
Oh yeah, totally. You'll get 9 minutes out of it, according to Preston.
To be fair, you know what? After this, I will build it up. So it looks like it's going to rain today, unfortunately now. So I will build it up today and we'll fly it tomorrow, if it's not raining.
All right, okay, I'll hold you to that. People are going to be listening to this. They're going to expect a review on your website.
Yep.
And a video. I mean, the thing I like about the stretch frames is as soon as I flew one, I was like, for some reason, it tracks in a straight line. Like very, very little pitch movement. And also cornering, it would kind of roll around, kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It kind of rolls around the corner rather than a lot of pitch work to get around the corner. And I remember when I first posted about it, and I was telling everybody, on our local chat, I was saying, stretch frames, awesome, and they were like, "You're talking out of your ass." It's all the flight controller. There's nothing in a stretch frame that would make it fly the way you're saying it flies, and it's just total rubbish. I can tune my quad to fly the same. I got so much hate, and then a lot of other people, more named pilots, started saying, "Oh yeah, we're seeing stretch frames now, and we're starting to run these stretch frames." And then there's a few more reviews came out, and and ever since then, I've seen more and more of them out there. But for the longest time, I got so much hate.
I think you're right. I mean, I think it does track better on pitch. That was one thing I noticed, but I think with our tracks, the corner gates that we have tend to be such awkward angles that unless you've already worked that line out, I don't know. It was the corners for me. I think just couldn't quite get it right.
Yeah, because I remember Gary Kent, Justice FPV, was saying that he tried one and didn't like it either. Yeah, no,
I think I can only think of one person in the UK that's running stretch.
What? One person?
Honestly, in a race of, say, 40 pilots, I can only think of one person.
And who's that? Name and shame.
That is... Oh, now you're testing me now. It's either Adam Gooch or Mark Booth. I can't remember which one it is.
That's funny. One person.
Oh, no, two. Sorry, two. Because Richard Whelan also flies stretch.
Oh, yeah. All right, there you go.
So there we go.
Are they winning races? Are they winning races though?
Yeah, they're doing pretty good, but I don't think it's the stretch that's making the difference.
Mate, it's always the stretch. You got to have as much hype on your machine as possible.
I know all about the hype.
Yeah, I mean, what's the biggest hype that you guys are seeing over there at the moment?
Ooh, there's a question. Probably the race flight revolts at the moment, I'd say.
Controversial.
I know. So
much drama.
I'm actually running them too, but I'm on beta flight.
What? Don't worry, I'll edit that. I'll beep it out or something.
Yeah, I mean, so I love race flight. I love Preston and Kalen and all the guys. I had a great time with them at Hawaii. But on the RF1 builds, I just haven't had any luck. I've tried so many different firmwares, and I can't get them to fly nice. So I thought, okay.
Well, I mean, what sort of issues are you getting?
Weird oscillations and horrible motor noise. Really bad motor noise.
Yeah. The later builds have fixed
everything. Yeah.
Okay.
But I've heard you get wobbling on pitch.
Mid throttle oscillations are the struggle at the moment. I mean, I don't actually notice it that much. It's only when you put an HD camera on that you notice it.
Okay.
Otherwise you don't see it in the camera, particularly at speed. So when I'm racing, couldn't care less. It's just like an arrow. But
okay, that's pretty good then.
As soon as you want to put an HD camera on it, that's when it gets a bit dicey. But I know Preston has been working on mad TPA curves.
Yeah, I've seen those
to get rid of it. So I haven't tried them personally. I know that KB, who's awesome acro pilot, he's been testing them out. So I'll just leave it to those guys to test it out, and then I'll put it on my machine. But at the moment,
that's the thing with me. I mean, there's a lack of time, and it's just I need to fly what works. I mean, I wasn't even seriously going to try beta flight, but I think I was in the field and I had a race on the weekend, and it was like Thursday or something. Just finished building the quads, and it had been raining all week. So I built them on the Friday, ready to test on the weekend, ready for the next weekend. And it had rained the whole time up until this Thursday. And I tried, I think, 3 or 4 different versions. So it's like 193, 215, whatever the other ones were, I can't remember. And I just had no luck with any of them. And I thought, okay, let's for a laugh just try Flash and Beta Flight and see what happens. And it just worked.
Just worked out the box. Did you do the whole PT1 or whatever it is?
Yeah, so set the filtering to PT1 and remove the first notch filter, and it just flew awesome. I mean, there's still some prop wash, but yeah, it's a race quad.
Yeah, okay.
So,
oh, that's interesting. I might have to give it a try. I mean, every time I've given it a try, I've gone, what's this horrible throttle that it's got? Because the throttle response is terrible. But I guess, I mean, I'm lucky enough that I can go and talk to Kalen and all these other guys and get some instant feedback. Whereas I guess, if you want to go and flash it and fly it, it's you need somebody around to give you the information.
Yeah,
I mean, how many people are running it over there, or how many people I guess are running A, the boards, and B, race flight?
That's a good question. I'd say probably a good percentage of the top 20, maybe 10, 15, I'd have thought now. So it's pretty high. It's coming along nicely. So
okay, that's
good. I mean, for the longest time, I used to run Revos with the old BB builds, and that was pretty much what everybody ran. And I just thought, Revolts are out. I've already got 6 or 7 of them. Now it's maybe time to switch.
Yeah, it's pretty similar over here. Like, you get the sort of top 15 or so over here that are majority are running race flight in one form or another.
Yeah.
We don't see many beta flighters at the top of the leaderboards over here anymore.
No, I mean,
they're saying that there is one super diehard, and I'll give him a shout out, Martin. So if he is listening, sometimes he does. He is super diehard, but he's super quick. I think he'd actually be quicker on race flight, and it would help him out a lot. But that's for him.
Some people you just can't convince. So we have a similar guy to that, and that's Luke. Luke's always been beta flight.
Mr. Benny UK.
Yeah, Benny UK. I've been trying to convince him to fly race flight for a while now, but no dice.
No, not interested. What's he doing these days? Because I don't tend to hear a lot from him.
Yeah, so he's got a ton of school at the moment, so he can't make a load of events. I think he does sort of bigger events and that kind of thing, but yeah, he's kind of on the down low at the moment while he's got exams and everything. I think once summer hits, he'll be better.
Okay. And when he figures out that girls are around.
Well, there is that too. It's going to be an interesting change, isn't it?
Because I mean, how old is he? He's what, 15, 16 now?
Yeah, coming up to 17.
Yeah, there you go. As soon as the women and the alcohol hits, because it's only 18.
Yeah, that's it.
He's only got another year to go then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I mean, do you get to fly with those guys quite often? Because there's probably 5 guys that I know from the UK. There's yourself.
Yep.
Gary Kent.
Yep.
There's Leo something. I forget.
Yeah, Leo Whitfield.
Yeah, obviously Benny UK. Did I say Brett already? Brett Collis?
Yeah, Brett Collis too.
And I don't know whether Tom Stenton flies anymore, but I think he used to fly
stopped
around.
for uni, but he's just started again. So he hasn't flown since October.
I mean, do you fly with those guys quite regularly, or is there like a local crew that you generally fly with?
So to be honest, most of the time I fly solo. I've got some people who are kind of 40 minutes away that come down every now and again, but most of the time it's solo. Brett, Gary and Tom and all those kind of people, they're luckily all in the same space, so they go out and practice together and push each other, and I'm stuck up here just flying alone.
Billy no mates.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you I fly alone when I'm testing, but I don't think I could actually just continue going out by myself. because I would just get super bored.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough when you have to practice. I mean, it's not just a case of, oh, I want to go fly and I want to fly a cool course. It's a case of I have to practice to stay as fast as the other guys, and trying to motivate yourself to actually keep doing that is really tough. I mean, for a start, you've got nobody else on the track, so you have to push, all the time. So I take with me like 5 or 6 quads and end up breaking most of them just because you're trying to push the whole time.
That is hard. I mean, do you listen to music when you race, or is it just completely focused on what you do?
It's kind of mixed. I've started to listen to music more now, particularly since DRL started. So, a normal race you can hear quads the whole time, but we've had some DRL races where you'll take off and you'll fly around the corner and that's it. Everything's silent, and it's so weird to not be able to hear a quad. So I thought I just need to replace this with something.
Yeah, just to get your mind off it. That was, I remember that was one of the things when we were in Hawaii. Yong Z, one of the Team New Zealand guys, he was used to fly with the earpiece in, so he could hear the quad. And as soon as he got there, couldn't hear anything. He was like, oh, I'm so disconnected, I can't fly. And I guess that's the same sort of thing when you can't hear the quad as well.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to find something that you can always reproduce, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've mentioned DRL a couple of times. So let's talk about DRL. Okay. Firstly, explain what DRL is to those that have been under a rock or are in a part of the world where you can't actually get it, which is the majority of the world, but even so.
Okay, so DRL is the Drone Racing League. So they are a professional racing company that have set up their own league that's broadcast on TV. They've got a big budget, big sponsors, and last year they had $100,000 for the top prize as a contract for this year for racing. So it's big money. It's kind of the only really sort of professional league at the moment, I would say. Totally. And they fly in crazy places. They've flown in stadiums, in abandoned warehouses, and all these kind of things. But I'd say what's different compared to any other race is the fact that the quads, they're all the same. So everybody flies the same quads. So it's kind of meant to be more based on, your own personal skill as opposed to who's got the fastest quad on the day.
Yeah. That's cool. And obviously you've done a video on the DRL 3, I think it's called. Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah, Racer 3, yeah.
Racer 3, that's it. So it's an old hefty beast. But I mean, look at the videos. It doesn't seem to fly like one. I mean, it's a 6-inch machine. Running tri-blades, 1850 kV motors, or 1800 kV, and you're running 5S as well. Yeah, and it's just under a kg. So it's not a super light. Yeah,
but I think it's a 7-to-1 or 8-to-1 power ratio. So it's not like it's not crazy slow, but it's not crazy fast. It's kind of what I'd say quads were sort of the middle of last year. In terms of that kind of power. But when because I suppose most of the DRL tracks are kind of indoors or sort of tight spaces, so you're kind of all going to be going the same speed anyway, and it's fast enough for where we're flying. But it handles really well considering. So as you say, you've got 6-inch tri-blades plus 5S. You've got tons of grip in the corners.
And you've probably got quite a lot of throttle control as well with that sort of weight.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's one of the big things that I like about the heavier quads is that you've got a lot more kind of throttle range to play with, whereas with the lightweight, it's just like on the throttle, it's in the ceiling.
Yeah, it's literally a flying tank. It's a cool quad.
So, I mean, how did you even get onto DRL? Because I remember, I think it was you that was begging, or not begging, but smack talking DRL people saying, "Oh, you should get some more UK pilots, or you should get some, rather than just having all these US pilots, get some UK pilots on, and we'll show you what's what."
Yeah, so they had the simulator competition, and I thought, okay, that's cool because we have the FPV event simulator, which is now Rotor Rush, and I used to fly that tons. I thought, okay, so I can get into a simulator competition. but they announced it as being US and Canada only, presumably due to the prizes and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So as you saw, I was kind of vocal on that because it was kind of frustrating, kind of back then, everyone didn't really know how you get into DRL. They kind of thought it was maybe based on being in a clique or social media and that kind of thing. And people were kind of, including me, I was kind of judgmental as to how you get onto it. And I thought it wasn't based on skill and that kind of thing. I've obviously since found it is. Not because I'm in it. I don't mean it like that. I just mean racing the other people. So how did I get into it? So basically they contacted me and asked for a Skype meeting.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, what's the Skype meeting about? And they just said, it's about DRL, and I didn't want to push any further, but this was on a Friday and the meeting was on the Monday, and it was a long weekend.
yeah, that's the excitement we'd be building at that point, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So it came down to a Skype meeting, then kind of explained what DRL was about and what they planned to do, and they wanted me to race for them, and I was like, mulled the contract over for I don't know, maybe a week or two.
Okay.
So I guess that's had a bit of controversy over it as to the length of it and that kind of thing.
How long ago was that? Because that must have been quite a while ago.
That was the start of December.
Okay, so you've been on the download for quite some time then.
Yeah. So I couldn't tell anyone, and we had like the final races of the UK in December, and I just signed it the day before a race, and I was super happy at the time because I was like, I'm going to be on DRL next season and race all the cool tracks, and couldn't tell a soul.
That must have been super difficult.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, I mean, I have to sign NDAs and whatnot occasionally for my work stuff, but it's hard. And I can imagine something that exciting would be super hard not to tell people, or even just accidentally slip out. It's like, So they contacted you based on your DRL sim results. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
So as I say, the simulator was... Sorry, I didn't finish that conversation, did I? So the simulator was a US and Canada competition only, so it didn't end up entering. But from what I gather, it was just based on sort of past performance. So they'd also been looking at my blog and race results. And that kind of thing. So I think having that was kind of the perfect thing. It gets totally. You out there, and I think that was enough for them to ask me.
I think a lot of it, they need people that people know. Yeah. For the most part, and people go, and then it builds the whole superstar aspect around it, and you want to get behind the pilots, and you have your favorite pilots, and I think it's probably why they picked the people that they picked originally, so that they get behind them and build the brand somewhat. Yeah. Because is Canoodle still on?
Yeah, Canoodle's still a big part of DRL. Yeah.
Yeah. So I imagine he's been looking around, and he knows who's who and who's going to get on, and who they should get on,
exactly.
and all that kind of stuff.
So speaking to all the crew there, going to the races, they all fly, they all watch everybody on social media. So yeah.
So I mean, explain then, because I got the opportunity to talk to Rec in Hawaii.
Okay.
Because he was on the first season of DRL. Yeah. So I asked him, what was it like? What's the experience like? And he was like, absolutely like you wouldn't expect. It's next level stuff. You just turn up. They give you all your clothes. They give you all your gear. They give you all your food. You just turn up, fly, and that's it. You're just there to fly. Yeah. So can you put us in your shoes and just explain what? I mean, because it's already been filmed, right? So you've already had all your races.
Yeah, most of it. So there's a couple of races left, which are sort of the playoffs and the actual championship.
Right. Okay.
So those are the last two races, but every other race has been filmed. Yeah.
So you've obviously been in those races. So
yeah.
So just explain to us, if you can, what a day in a DRL pilot's shoes is. From getting up and heading off to wherever you're heading off? What's the day? What's the day like?
So I guess first off, like Rec, it's just nuts. I mean, the scale and production quality of everything is just insane. There's so many people, like on site you'll have 100 to 150 people and they're all crew, and it's nuts. So we get flight tickets, we just kind of get on the plane, go to wherever we're going. We'll get picked up, of course, taken to wherever we need to go. And then, of course, once race day happens, we'll get transported to wherever the place is, and pretty much just chauffeured around for the whole day. So we'll have like a personal PA that I think
personal PA.
Yeah, well, they're kind of making sure we're not getting into trouble more than anything, I'd imagine. But
you're not sports players, mate. You're not going to bars and
making
picking
sure
up
we're not
women
wandering off and everything. But
that's
yeah,
awesome.
so we just get chauffeured around everywhere, and it's kind of you have to be here at a certain time and sit here otherwise. And yeah, we have all the food and everything provided, and
all your clothes,
all the clothes as well. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. So the cool thing is,
how long is a race day then? So it's not presumably just one day. You're on set for what, a week, 5 days, 3 days?
It's usually three days.
Okay, yeah.
So your first day is kind of interviews and maybe a track walk, and that kind of thing. So we don't get to fly on the first day, which is super frustrating because you go in, you see the course, you think, wow, this looks awesome, but you can't fly it. So yeah, we
taunting.
So we get pre-race interviews, which is cool. And then on the second day, we kind of go in, so you get practice rounds, followed by time trials, and then qualifying rounds. So for each one, so I think practice is four packs. We tend to do 1 or 2 laps. As you know, or people don't know, DRL tracks tend to be 1 lap, and they're usually around a minute long. So it's a lot shorter than a normal race, and the tracks are usually a lot bigger than a normal race.
And a lot more technical as well, with kind of weird stuff that goes on. And
yeah, there's a lot of 3D stuff to it. Yeah, so we have 4 practice rounds, 2 time trials. How many qualifying is it? I think it's 4 qualifying again. So we get like 10 packs on the first day. And then you go through on the second day and you have semi-finals and finals. So those are normally, I think, 6 heats and then 7 heats.
Wow, okay, so it's a fair bit of flying then still.
Yeah. You get a lot of packs in. I think it's 20, 25 packs. So it's quite a lot.
Oh, yeah, it's like 18 more than Hawaii.
Yeah. It's interesting though. I mean, so the first thing that I noticed straight away with the racing is, I guess, I don't know, maybe you get this as well. So if you say you've got a 2-minute heat, the first lap's kind of slow and you build up getting used to flying again, and then second lap you push it and you get faster and faster. But with DRL you don't get that because you've only got 1 lap, and it's kind of, you have to be on it straight away and adjusting to that. It's actually really weird. I think it benefits sort of freestyle pilots because as soon as they're flying, they're just into it, and they kind of, they're already in that zone. I think with us racers, it's an adjustment, that's for sure.
Do you think there's something that needs to be changed for DRL specifically?
No,
or maybe more practice runs or more laps, possibly.
To be honest, I think it's just kind of adapting to. I mean, if you look at other forms of racing, that's kind of how it works anyway. I think it's just a case of it's just different racing, really.
Yeah. It's certainly exciting to watch. Once you watch the post-edited stuff, it's way more exciting than any other type of racing. Yeah, you can watch the live streams from MultiGP, but they just go on and on. I find that I watch them after the fact so that I can skip through the boring parts. And get to the actual racing. But even then, it's still really hard to follow. I think a lot of the racing stuff has to be post-edited to make it watchable for the average person.
Yeah,
I think DRL
100%.
that's where DRL is awesome.
Yeah, I think they've nailed that.
Yeah, I imagine that editing stuff takes a long time after all the races are done. And that's certainly not easy to do.
No, I mean the cool thing is, so even sort of during the times when we're not racing and we're sort of in the pilot's lounge, they've got all TVs and screens and everything, so we get to see. They do like a live cuts, they call it, where they're basically doing the racing as it would be, and we get to see that. So it's really cool compared to where you're at a normal race and you're kind of sitting around maybe waiting. I guess you're doing the same here, but you get to see sort of a preview on what it may look like on TV. So it's never
how nervous were you?
It's been such a mixed bag. So the first event was horrendous. You're thrown in the deep end, and to be honest, it was so different, and you're just like, oh my god, everything's new. As say, there's like 150 people there.
Really? What crowd and people? Oh, you mean just crew
just
and
the
then
staff? Yeah.
Jesus.
It's just it's different. I mean, you've got to sit in the pilot. What do they call it?
The booth thing. The
pilot booth, and it's just it's completely different to a normal race. You don't have your own transmitter, you don't have your own goggles. I mean, we get to adjust the focus and everything that the goggles are provided, but it's different. And having all the cameras around as well. We're used to races where you might get 1 or 2 cameras if you're lucky, but everywhere you look, there's cameras everywhere, and it's weird. So nerves were, I don't know, nerves pretty high on the first ones, and then you get used to it, I think.
Yeah. You're acclimatized, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you're familiar to TV. I mean, you've done what, 3 TV shows, 4 TV shows?
Yeah, done a couple of adverts and some other stuff as well. Yeah.
So I mean, you did Argos.
Did an Argos advert.
A Porsche one, an Ascot, and an Argos.
Yeah. And then I just had a sort of a mini documentary with Lad Bible.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Yeah, so that was quite cool. But yeah, I mean, so I'm kind of used to cameras anyway, and I'm not too bothered by them. But having so many, it was weird.
Yeah, I mean, were they coming in for the interviews after the races, or was it kind of all before the races and then after the races? When did they just leave you to fly your stuff and then do all the interview stuff afterwards?
So they kind of have it pretty much the whole time. So you've got stuff recording the whole time. And so we have the pre-race interviews, how your thoughts are going into it, and then you get interviews after races as well, and then you have post-race interviews for the whole race and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of camera work. It's kind of a shame they don't have more slots. It would be awesome to see like an after show with all the stuff that doesn't make it in, because there's so much stuff that's just golden content, but they just don't have time to show.
No, I mean, do you think that going forwards that DRL is the future of the sport in terms of the racing and TV side of it?
I think the plan that they've got in place and where they are at the moment and where they plan to go, I think they're the guys that are definitely going to be doing it. By the sounds of it, it's going to go to more of like a team racing thing. So that'd be cool to see, kind of like F1 and that kind of thing.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, even watching DRL last year, it was just awesome. But
because it started off pretty shaky, didn't it? After the first race in the Miami Stadium, it just went nothing for months, and then they came back with a whole revised setup, and it was just like maximum awesome. And I remember, because when I was in the UK, I managed to catch a bunch of the races that were on, because thankfully my parents had Sky Sports, and I was watching. I was like, this is all. Even my parents were like, that's awesome, because they could follow it, they could understand it, who was in the lead, and they had the pilot stuff as well. It was it's so good to watch.
The thing that I noticed, sorry, I was just going to say, the thing that I noticed is people who aren't interested in drones or don't know about drones or even racing, it even grabs their attention, which is crazy. Like, you try and get someone who doesn't watch Formula 1 to watch Formula 1 and you've got no chance. But The way that
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's awesome.
I mean, I think a lot of that whole here's F1, go watch F1 is it's just motorsport. You know, people are used to that.
Yeah.
Whereas you go watch these things fly around a warehouse with people with goggles on, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, I also think it's got to the point now where probably the majority of people you go, "Do you know what a drone is?" Yes, I know what a drone is, and people know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
might not necessarily know what a racing drone is, and I think over time awareness of racing drones and obviously DRL is going to play into that, and I think we'll see hopefully more on TV about it.
Yes, yeah. I mean, they plan to sort of they had good viewership last year, but I think this year they're going even bigger, and they've just taken on a huge sponsor and all this kind of stuff. So I think the amount of people that they'll be able to reach this season is just going to be crazy.
Are they going to stream it on the internet?
Not that I'm aware of. I think it's still all TV based, but
see, the problem is that it's very hard to get it outside of, well, at least it was really hard to get it outside of the UK and the US. I mean, I still haven't seen the finals other than what the clips of that I've seen on people's channels and stuff. I've not seen the full episodes. Yeah, and it's not something that you can just go to a pirate ship website and just search for, because it's it's not really that popular.
No.
So I mean, that's
I think they're broadcasting in 70 countries, something crazy like that. So,
is there a list? Is there a list somewhere?
Oh, that is a good question. If there is, I don't have it. But it's a lot.
I have to check that out. Yeah, okay. I have to go. It might be on the DRL website. Hopefully they've updated it. But that'd be awesome if I could get it here somehow. Then I'd love to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah,
well, I think a lot of people would as well.
Thing, isn't it? It's on subscriber services that you don't get in every country. So, what kind of stuff do you even have in New Zealand?
Oh, I mean, we're not that third world.
No. No, I just wondered if you have like a Sky alternative or whatever they have in the US.
No, we get Sky over here. So I mean, Sky is everywhere pretty much.
Global.
And we get all the Sky Sports, we get ESPN. The problem was that we didn't get ESPN 2 because I think that was a US. I think there was a US channel only. So you had to try and live stream it from a website. An alternative website, but then the problem is that it was live streamed, so you had to watch it at the time it was on, and it was on at like 4 a.m. So it was like,
it's no good for you guys.
Completely useless. The other option is, I guess I could get somebody in my parents to DVR it in the UK and then rip it off there somehow. But all these workarounds to get something that ideally everybody should be able to see. I think that's the only real way to grow it, is that if you do the ability to broadcast it. Yeah, if they put it on Netflix, if they did a deal with Netflix, everywhere's got awesome. Netflix. I don't know how hard that would be to put on Netflix. Just a suggestion. Maybe you can suggest that.
Yeah,
if they haven't already.
That's a great idea. I think. I mean, the amount of people that have Netflix, it's just crazy.
Everybody's got Netflix, and it's globally available. I'm sure it's probably not available in some countries, but anyway,
that would be cool.
Yeah. And that's something I'd like to see. So, the prize for DRL last season was won by Jet.
Yes.
And he won a six-figure salary, effectively, for the season. I imagine that was just a, here you go, here's some cash, come back next year. This season, I don't know whether they've announced what the prize is. Is the prize the same again?
So the prize is basically the same. So the top guy gets $100,000 contract for 2018, and then those within the top 6 also get an increased contract.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's cool. So everybody can, that place as well is going to continue on effectively.
Yeah.
Sweet. And how many new people are in this season versus the old season? Is it majority of new faces? I don't know whether you can tell me that or not,
question.
but I'm going to ask you anyway.
No, I think I can, because all the Racer 3 sort of videos have been published, and you can kind of work out from who's posted the videos. But I think there's still probably more from last season than new people. But there's certainly a lot of new faces. Even people that you may not have heard of, which is really cool. I guess. Yeah,
there's some in the first one I didn't hear of either.
Yeah, I mean, for me being in the UK, we get shouted a bit from maybe some of the US races. So you know the big top names like Brain Drain, Sean Taylor, and all that kind of people. But you kind of miss out on the people just below them. I think there's some of those in this season for sure. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, okay. So it's got quite a diverse lot. I mean, they're obviously not all racers, and they're not all freestylers, presumably.
Yeah, it's completely a mix. So there's some racers, some freestylers, and there were the weirdos in between, like me.
Yeah, and I saw that Spook FPV's back in as well. Old Raf.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing. I'm not sure if he's in it or not. I'm not too sure with him.
Oh no, he said he was in
stuff.
It.
Okay.
Oh, is he? He said he was in it. From when I spoke to him, because I remember on the first season, I spoke to him after he'd been on it, because we were still part of Team Space One FPV at that point.
Right.
And
yeah. Sure.
I said, what was going on, bro? Yeah, you should have been crushing that track. He was like, I could not see a thing, and I saw the DVR footage, because I think they had horrendous issues the first time they ran that thing, and he had all sorts of issues of radio dropouts, and I think that contributed a lot to why it took so long for the next bunch of races to come out.
Yeah.
Because of all these technical things. Because when I spoke to Rec, one of the things he was saying is that they've got like a military or an ex-military RF team on there that does all the Wi-Fi and all this funky stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, all the RF stuff they've got is wizardry. I mean, they're kind of progressing into areas that certainly nobody else has yet, and they're doing a really good job of it. It's, you're flying. Well, take Miami for example. So Miami, we already kind of know about, because there's all the promotional videos. But being able to sit in, some random corner of the stadium and fly into the stadium and still have video,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Kind of nuts.
Yeah, totally. And RF as well, on your radio as well as video. I mean, video is one thing, but I mean, actually having control as well, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably why they took so long from the original Miami, is I think they were still developing all the tech for it. So most of their stuff is kind of in-house. And as I say, it's kind of new to everyone, so they've had a hell of a learning curve trying to get to where they are. But they seem to have got there.
I mean, are they gonna push towards the HD stuff for the pilot side of it? Because obviously, as a viewer, we see the HD footage from the cameras, the GoPros and the such. Obviously, from the pilots, you're still running analog at the moment. Do you think that they'll go to HD? I mean, because you've tested the Connex, right? And From memory of your article,
I wasn't much of a fan.
It was like, it was a bit, Because I mean, just give us the quick spiel on what you found with the Connex.
So there's a few things really. I mean, it's a cool setup for a start. I mean, you get no multipathing because it's digital. I had a few issues with it. So it's 16:9, which I don't normally fly, and there seemed to be a lot of issues with it connecting to stuff and recording DVR, and you'd have a light crash and then your video's gone, and it's all just a lot more sensitive, and it's kind of a lot less reliable than analog at the moment. So personally, I don't think analog's that bad in terms of picture quality and stuff. We're just kind of used to it. I think once the next generation of HD comes out, it's going to be interesting. But for me personally, at the moment, I don't think it's ready. I had too many issues.
It's generation 1.
Yeah, which is a shame. But yeah, I mean, in terms of DRL, I guess they're probably thinking the same sort of thing. Analog just works. And I think the thing as well is with them sort of developing their own technology, if they go to HD, they're locked in with proprietary technology, and maybe they can't do what they need to. as you say, they've got their own RF team that does wizardry with the signals that they have already, and they can modify equipment as they need to.
Is the signal as good as what you'd normally expect on a normal racer?
Yeah, it's just the same, which
Sweet.
is bonkers.
Have you used the Clearview much? I remember seeing a few people talking about Clearview, and I've spoken to a few people over here that are interested in it. Is that something you've tried out at all?
So we've started seeing people having it at race events recently, and even actually in DRL they've started using a custom Clearview, which has made a ton of difference. I'm still yet to get one. Purely because they're always out of stock. Yeah, well, they are quite expensive. I mean, I've got my own crazy diversity setup, which is kind of quadversity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I do want to get one. It's just they're always out of stock at the moment. But
would you see much benefit over there though in a general race? Because a lot of our races over here are in a panic, and we don't really have much need for it.
Yeah,
I don't think there's much need for it.
It's kind of tough. I mean, so we have the one indoor UK place, UK drone racing, and to be honest, in there you don't need it. We haven't really had any other indoor UK races. There's one place, the NEC, where we used to have all the other races, which would be perfect for it, but we haven't raced there. So, and as you say, I don't think outdoors really needs it.
No.
As long as the pilots are set up in a decent location to get video, they're not too close to the track and they can see the whole track, then I don't know, I don't think you personally need it.
No, I think it's just a nice to have. I'd appreciate the crystal quality from what I've seen. It looks freaking awesome. But I mean, personally, I outside of a real ACC diversity and a decent antenna on there and a decent Omni,
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I say I've got quadversity already, so that's two FR632s into an Oracle diversity controller. I only kind of got it because it was cheap. I had a friend selling the Oracle box, so I picked that up cheap. I wouldn't have bought it otherwise, but that does me just fine.
Whatever happened to that Furious thing they had in Hawaii? That super.
Oh yeah, the 5D. I have no idea. They have a lot of products that they kind of develop but never make it to market. I'm not sure why that one didn't, but yeah.
Interesting. Because I remember seeing the that 6-way one that was on Hobby King. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah.
That's just it's just too much with those crappy antennas on it.
Yeah.
I think it had those rubbishy on-way antennas on each side.
To be honest, I thought that was a bad design because it patches all the way around, right? So if you have noise behind you, you're just amplifying the noise. And unless it's got a really good switcher, surely it's worse.
Well, hey mate, that sounds like bro science to me.
But I've never tested legit. It, so I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome. So once you get your results in for... have you done all your races? So you've done all your races for DRL now?
Well, so we've got
more to go.
The playoffs and finals. Whether or not I'm in those, I can't say, but... So those are the last two races, and they're the end, the middle of June. So once that hits, that's it for this season.
And when's it due to air?
The 20th of June.
Oh, so that's pretty quick.
Yeah,
that's pretty quick.
It's only a week after the last race. So it's
so we're in
exactly
May
a month
now.
today.
Jeez, okay.
So
and when are they going to tell us where it's available on? Is that already information already out? I should have probably checked that.
I'm not sure, actually. Yeah, I think the website needs updating at the moment. I know it's going to be on ESPN, Sky Sports. They've also got Pro Sieben in Germany. I can't remember if there's any others or not, but those are certainly the three main ones.
You need to DVR them.
I know. Just to keep them.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'd be keeping them for keepsakes, but we might be able to do some distribution somehow.
Yep. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Internet now.
Nice.
Ask me questions, tell you no lies. All right, man. Well, I know it's getting on to time to build the Orca, so...
Yeah, it's actually just started raining now, just as we're sort of rolling it up.
I'm surprised it's even stopped raining in the time that we've actually been chatting, given it's the UK.
That's yeah. I mean, so going to these DRL events in the US, and even though it's kind of not winter time, but coming out of winter, the weather's just so much better. And I come back to the UK and it's just grey and depressing. I think,
dank.
Why do we put
dank,
up with
mate.
this? It's dank.
Hashtag dank AF is what it is.
Yeah, it's
every
grim.
time I come back, it's just grey. It's grey and
always
rainy.
grey. It's the worst for GoPro,
especially
footage.
in the Midlands.
Yes, yeah, especially Worcester. I think there's just a big cloud that just sits here the whole time.
It's Birmingham, mate. It's Birmingham's the problem. Get rid of Birmingham, that problem goes away.
Skies.
Yeah. Because the benefit you do have about having the greyness over there is that you get the hashtag Gary blur.
That is true.
It makes his videos look a million times faster.
Yep.
It's I know he is fast, but even so.
Yeah, his videos
Gary
are ridiculous. I think his is still.
Yeah.
I think he's competing up with Sean Taylor, but I think his still look blurrier.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, the Sean Taylor ones. I don't know. I know he's fast because I've seen him. Yeah. But you watch his videos and you think that is just too much. I don't know how you're flying that fast.
Yeah.
Because it looks like he's actually breaking the HD camera when he's flying. Because it's just like, it's just juking all over the place, and it's just these.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway,
his latest videos are just crazy.
Too fast. Too fast. Should be banned.
Yep,
There's cheating going on somewhere.
Don't allow him at events.
No. I mean, the DRL tracks, I know you can't say too much. Going on previous tracks, they were, like you say, very 3D heavy. The latest tracks are 3D heavy-ish, or are they more, or they're more normal, I guess?
So it's the same sort of style as last year, I guess.
Okay. All right.
I can't say too much, but what we've seen so far is Miami. So they've done a different take on Miami, and there's a way more 3D than last year. So I think Miami last year it was kind of just a normal racetrack, so they're flying around the stadium seating and that kind of thing. But there's a lot more 3D elements this year, certainly in Miami anyway.
And what's interesting, what I noticed as well, is that as soon as that gravity gate came in, that just started appearing everywhere in multi-GP. We haven't seen any over here, but have you? Because in the UK, all I've really seen is the up and overs and the down and unders and that kind of stuff. Are you guys experimenting with more 3D style gates and stuff? Or
so there's still not that much in the UK. So I've got a few friends who built them sort of out of wood and stuff, and I actually went and bought some PVC piping to make my own. Didn't really work, if I'm honest. So I cut these 2.4 meter length pipes, and I was going to try and stack one on top of another to make a really high gate, and then realised
I
don't know what I was thinking really. I didn't think of the logistics, so it's kind of just sat gathering dust. But we are seeing more 3D stuff. There's a couple of guys now who've got gravity gates, and we've seen a lot more high gates as well. So I think we're catching up. But I think we kind of got left behind in that respect. So you look at all the US tracks and everything, and they've got all these, the stairway gates and gravity gates.
That was mad. In MotoGP finals, it's like I saw that track, and I was like, nobody's going to finish that track. and then I saw that they'd done like 40 packs on the first day. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then
by the end,
people were actually finishing it.
Yeah. It was incredible.
I tried it on the sim.
It
took
was
me a while to
tough
get around
on the
it.
sim. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you find the sim versus real life? I guess because not only have you done obviously the UK tracks, and you've also done Road Rush, you've also now done DRL, and you've flown the DRL sim. So of those four, how similar are they to what you've actually been flying in real life?
So I do have a Racer 2, which is what the DRL sim is based on. And surprisingly, it's very, very accurate. So the thing that I noticed when I first started flying the DRL sim was I thought it flied like crap. But in all honesty, that is just how the Racer 2 flies. Like the Racer 2 is awesome, but it doesn't fly great.
Okay.
But in terms of sort of realness, it's actually pretty close. Road to Rush has kind of always been my favourite. Probably because it has the tracks on, but I think it's always kind of had the best, sort of most realistic physics.
Yeah.
I think all of them are still a way off, personally. I kind of fly the sim less and less nowadays. If it's raining, I'll just build instead of flying on the sim. So I think in some ways, it kind of makes you worse in some aspects. I think the way that the sim flies, particularly with the throttle, I think it can give you bad habits if you do
that's
it too
what I
much
found.
and take that on board. So I kind of try and limit really to not flying it at all at the moment.
Okay, interesting.
But I think in terms of a tool for beginning to fly and learning new stuff, so like if you want to learn the Matty stunt stuff, it's perfect.
Oh yes, yeah.
Which
I mean, one of the things I found that when I was doing the sim was initially I went on the Road Rush sim, and I would go on and try and get the fastest times, and I would fly it like an absolute hooligan.
Yeah.
But I would never fly my actual quad like that. So what I started doing is I started flying the track as if I was actually flying the track, if that makes sense. As if I would do in real life. And I found that then when I went to race, it was a lot more realistic, the switch between the two. I wasn't as fast in the sim, but that's not what I was practicing. I was practicing the control of the quad.
That's the thing. I mean, the fact that you can fly so much faster than you would normally fly, I think is what gives you the bad habits. Yeah,
totally. Like that whole pegging the throttle for the majority of the track is just, you just don't do that.
No cares about crashing because you just press R and you're back at the start line.
That's it.
No quad to repair.
No. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting that you're similar to me on that. So, yeah, cool. All right.
I know that a lot of the US people still fly the sim a lot. So Sean Taylor and those guys, they actually do multiplayer on the DRL sim all the time, or at least they were. I don't know if they still do, due to race events coming up. But yeah, it's kind of mixed.
I guess it's muscle memory more than anything as well.
Yeah.
The more stick time you're doing, the better you're going to get, regardless of whether it's completely accurate or not. But I can see the benefits. Honestly, I just don't have time. Well, I do have time, but I have better things to do with my time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling. Time is... I need to buy some more time off eBay or something. I'm always running out.
You just offshore it. Just send it off to China. They'll do it for you.
I have to get them to start writing my blog posts.
Yeah, totally. You just get like a type farm on there. So, I mean, what else do you do in your spare time when you do have it? Is there anything else that you do other than drones? Or is that pretty much it at the moment?
So, well, try and spend as much time with my fiance as I can.
Yes.
So that's kind of.
Is she coming with you to the US?
She hasn't.
No, okay.
But she'll be at the DRL finals, so she'll get to see that race. And she's been to a few events, and she actually wants to start flying. So I've got on the sim a few times, and hopefully by the end of the year she'll be racing. So that'd be cool. Yeah, no, that'd be super good. Kind of do 3D printing and stuff, and I've just built an electric bike. I've converted my bike to electric. So
I saw that, and I started researching.
It's a slippery slope. I do have a bike.
Yeah, it is. Because you didn't spend that much on that either, did you? It was like, what, 160 quid or something?
Yeah, the kit was 169 pounds, and you just add batteries. So it's awesome.
It's a kit, was it? You just buy it as a kit?
Yeah.
It fits any bike?
Yeah, so it's a rear hub. You kind of need to have similar gears and stuff, but yeah, just plug and play. Sweet.
I imagine it's going to work with Shimano gears of some sort. So
yeah, it's mainly due to how many gears you've got on the back, but I had the wrong gears and it still works anyway. So
sweet.
But yeah, it's wicked fun.
And that's what, from eBay, you say?
Yeah, just on eBay. Yeah, runs on awesome. 13S.
13S, so that's safe as houses.
Yeah, 54 volts or something.
Jesus. And what size packs are you running?
So I'm running 8,000 milliamps at the moment, and I get 11 miles.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And that's pure electric power as well. So I mean, obviously you can pedal as well.
Yeah, exactly. You pedal as well, and
does it do like assist mode? So you can.
It does have it. Yeah, you're meant to. Well, legally it has to be installed in the UK, but I haven't quite got there yet. I need to buy another tool to get a sensor on, but it'll get there eventually.
Oh, so it's got to be like fully legal kind of deal.
Yeah,
in the UK?
I'm not sure how many
Really?
people actually care. That yeah, you're also limited on power. It's like 250 watts, and the system does like 1,000 or something. So
1,000 watts. Oh, dude, you put wheelies, no problem. So it's quite quick. I mean, what's top speed?
So I've gone pretty fast in it. I'm not sure I'll go that fast again, but I did 38 miles an hour.
So that's what 50
kilometers. Yeah.
That's hoofing
scary.
On a bike.
That is scary.
It just keeps going.
I mean that was down a hill, but yeah, I'm not sure I'll go to those speeds again. But it's just for the events in the summer, there's quite a few of us who've got them now. It kind of started from Tom Stanton doing his own sort of DIY one from 3D printed parts.
He is Mr. DIY, isn't he?
Yeah. So we've got like 6 or 7 of us who have got this electric bike now. So we'll just be, going around all the fields during an event.
That's awesome. Get a little trailer for it.
Yeah, well, we're all going to race each other and all that kind of thing.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, could you use it? I mean, do you use it for work at all? Do you use it for commuting or?
So I literally finished building it last week. I did cycle to work Thursday, and it absolutely peed it down. Riding back
with your 1,000 watts power.
Yeah, so it's still like a 35-minute commute.
First.
And I got back and I was absolutely soaked. I was soaked the whole way through, but at least I know it's waterproof.
Did you conformal code it and stuff? Or,
no. So
exit?
The speed controller is massive. It's like that big, and it's in like a metal case already, so it's relatively waterproof.
Sweet. Is it quite heavy? Like the whole lot? I mean, how much weight is added?
So yeah, it's quite heavy, which is the only annoying thing with this kit. So on the rear wheel alone, with all the motor built in and stuff, I think it adds 15 kilos, which is pretty much a whole bike.
Jesus. Yeah, that's a lot.
So you probably wouldn't want to pedal with that setup without batteries, maybe. But Tom's setup's like a kilo, so his is way lighter. Yeah, I mean he's literally he's bought a massive motor off Hobby King, printed a mount that just like sits on the frame somewhere, and it's belt driven. So there's nothing to it. There's no crazy hub or anything.
See, that's a good way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Oh, maybe I'll wait for the Tom Stanton edition then.
Yeah.
Yeah, open source that on Thingiverse. Be sweet.
Yeah, I think he's got it on there already.
Oh, has he? Oh, I might have a look at that. And is that like a OEM fit any bike kind of deal?
Yeah. You have to print a few things, but aside from that, it's just kind of.
I'm all about printing at the moment.
Yeah.
Got my Prusa. Prusa i3 Mark IIs. Loving it. What printer have you got?
So I've got a Prusa Mark something. I don't know. It's old. It's like 4 years old, maybe. It's one of the old style Prusas, and then I've got a Rostock Max V2 as well.
That's like the funky
kind of Delta one.
Yeah, that's supposed to be pretty cool. They print ultra quick as well, don't they?
Yeah, that's fast. That's around 200 milliseconds. So it's pretty fast, although it's in pieces at the moment.
That was quite reliable.
Yeah, I've had printing issues recently though, and I just haven't had time to fix it. The Prusa worked, so it's kind of like, am I that bothered?
Old faithful.
To fix it? Yeah.
Mate, you got 2 printers. I've got 2 printers at the moment as well, but I'm thinking a Delta might be the way to go, just to go with the Prusa.
Yeah, I mean they've come down so much in price as well. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, and the quality is so good.
Yeah.
You're banging it. And I do a lot of printing for my quad stuff, and the amount of stuff that people make is just ridiculous.
I mean, I make my own stuff too. So here's a question for you: what's the most popular material you print?
TPU.
Yeah, that's when you know you're a quad person.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, I use it for all sorts of stuff. Because it's if you put enough infill in there, you can make it super super rigid, and it's indestructible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so flexible that it's going to deform. It's more like whereas you print something in PLA, it has to be exactly right. And it's still quite weak.
Yeah,
and it's also quite temperature resilient as well, the TPU. So I print a lot of stuff in TPU.
Yeah,
probably some things that I shouldn't print in TPU, but I still do. But yeah, do you do any like design work at all? Do you do
I've done
like
quite a few
Fusion
things
360
actually. No, so I use Autodesk 123D, I think it is, just a free non-commercial thing. Although I've seen that they've stopped making it and the downloads have gone.
Well, Fusion 360 is like the next iteration of that, I think, and it's free as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. I'll have to check it out then.
So
Do you know if it's just as easy or?
I mean, I'm not a CAD person, but there are tons of stuff on there. Apparently, it is pretty similar. If you've used SolidWorks as well, it's like similar to that. So it's all kind of the same sort of thing, I think. But apparently, there's tons of stuff on it, and it's free. So yeah, go and check that out.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look. Cheers.
Because I'm just a Tinkercad kind of guy. I can't be asked with doing too much stuff. I'll just get STL, put a few bits and pieces, cut a few holes in, and I'm done.
Oh, that's the same as me. I just start with the basic shapes. Right, here's a square. Take some stuff away from it.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, because I saw that Tom's designed an entire 3D printed plane.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and he's talking about his infills and his gaps in there, and he's doing all sorts of crazy shit. And I was like,
yeah, he's just got another printer at the moment that's got, it's kind of like a Prusa style. It's got a massive bed. It's like 400 millimeters or something by 300. Jesus. So he's going to be printing some big stuff.
Yeah. I mean, is he doing it commercially or is he doing it for himself?
Just for himself, really, at the moment. So his YouTube's kind of gone crazy at the moment. With all,
I saw that.
From all the printing stuff, actually. So he's just kind of seeing where it goes with that, really.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense, when you find a market and away you go. Because the drone stuff's kind of saturated at the moment. You look at a lot of people's videos, and they might have 300 to 1,000 people on there for the most part, for the average person. And you look through the videos, it's like, okay, well, I could substitute this name for that name, and it would be exactly the same video.
Yeah.
There's a few people I like following, like the Stinger Swarm. Mainly because of the type of stuff he's doing. He's talking to the camera, and I think that whole vlog style is
way
much more appealing than just watching. Yeah, totally.
The problem I find at the moment with those vlogs is, so I like Willard and Johnny and Stinger, as you say, but the problem is they all go together and they all go to the same spot. So the vlogs are all the same, and it's kind of, well, which one do I watch? Because they're all good at making content, but it's the same stuff.
Yeah, they all need to separate and go to different parts of the US.
Yeah, not stay in Atlanta.
but Johnny's just moved there as well. Johnny FPV.
Yeah, he has.
So you're gonna have all of them producing exactly the same footage from different vantage points.
Yeah.
Maybe they should just make one video out of like all of them. Just like have a surround camera. And then they just combine it all, and they just move it around to whoever they need it on, to whoever's channel.
I mean, they could almost make like a new Rotor Riot. I mean, they're all together.
Hey, there's an idea.
They've got all the people in one place. They all make good content, and they all want to do the same thing. So why not?
Well, Steele's there as well, isn't he? So
yeah. I think
that's still on Rotor Riot. I don't even know. I don't really watch it that much.
Yeah, him and Kevin. Yeah.
Okay, so the Atlanta crew, Red Right, new version
cool.
of. Yeah, now I would watch that personally.
Yeah, same.
I think they've got a lot of decent content. They have a lot of decent information, not BS like a lot of YouTubers. They don't generally spout a lot of hype crap. That isn't backed up by anything. It's actual information. But
interestingly, that's kind of why I started the reviews in the first place. So I was looking around, new stuff to buy, as you always do, pretty much every day. And you kind of read a review on it. But the problem I found was so many of the reviews are not honest. It's they kind of get the product and they're like, oh, this is really good. But most of the time it's really good because it's free. Like if you'd have bought the product, your opinion would probably change. And that's kind of why I started. A, so I could review it myself, but B, so I had personal experience of it to see if it was worth investing the money in it.
Yeah, there's very few of that type of review, and that's one of the reasons why I really liked yours. Another one was the RC model review, so Bruce Simpson.
Yeah,
you may have
Bruce
heard of him.
Good job, yeah.
So I mean, he used to do some real good videos, like informational stuff, but then he just went on his CAA rants.
Yeah,
and it completely,
I kind of haven't watched
interest
since then. Yeah,
no, and the thing is, because it all got resolved because it was complete crap. So TLDW, basically he's an arse, and it all got sorted. But yeah, and the other guy that I really like as well, that I do watch, is the UAV Futures guy, the Australian guy.
Yeah,
I don't know his name. He's actually really good.
No, I can't remember either. It's gone.
No, yeah, the UAV Futures guy with Angry Trev. Is it Angry Trev? Yeah. Is it Angry Trev? Yeah, it is Angry Trev, isn't it? I think so. The other guy, yeah. Yeah, I watch his stuff, and he generally is pretty good on picking stuff apart. Yeah. But for the most part, it's kind of not the stuff I would fly normally, personally.
Yeah.
And the only other one that I would really, who's the other guy that I was going to say? I was going to say somebody else, but I can't remember who it was now.
Painless 360 maybe, or HPI guy.
Oh, I've watched HPI guy a few times, and I've watched Painless a few times. I like the Painless instructional stuff. Yeah. He's really good.
Yeah.
Because I was going to set up is it iNav, the plane?
Yes.
Yeah. Plane. Yeah. I was going to set up that, so I watched his videos, and they were really good. But again, it's targeted information that I'm going in there for. It's not something I would watch consistently. Again, things like Joshua Bardwell, I watched some of his videos. Yeah. But again, it's more targeted information as opposed to long-time subscriber entertainment. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. I don't think you're able to do both as a YouTuber. I don't think you can do good information all the time and entertainment. A Road to Writer gets close.
Yeah.
But even some of their stuff is like, I don't really agree with what you're saying there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know the feeling.
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
It's definitely a fine line. I mean, I've looked at revamping my YouTube, but it's like, I can't be asked. I'll put more time and effort into the podcast and see where that goes, because I think for people, this is more interesting. And it's something that's easier to do as well. And, I don't have to do a ton of post editing. I just talk. And generally people listen.
I mean, the great thing with podcasts is it's so much easier to listen to, really. I mean, so I know a ton of people who will listen to podcasts at work or when they're driving, and it's just stuff that you can't do if it's a video. And, you get so much more information in a podcast, and podcasts are good.
And that's one of the guys here that was like, when are you going to start live streaming? I was like, who the fuck is going to watch a live stream?
Yeah.
If you're in the US or the UK, you've got to be on at a certain time. Nobody's going to care.
It doesn't work.
Nobody wants to watch a live stream. No, and nobody's going to go to my YouTube channel to necessarily watch me talking to somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's the VEC FPV guy that does it.
Yeah. So I watched a bit of that when you were on, but it wasn't really for me.
No, it's I much prefer, like most people, just to chuck it on in the car on the commute on the way in.
Yeah.
Or when I've got some background noise that I just need to put on. So we'll be background noise for people. So that's all good. Well, man, I mean, I appreciate your time here. It's we've been going at this for an hour and 40 almost.
That's cool, man.
Which I think is probably the longest episode, and you're the first person outside of New Zealand to come on. So,
well, those are two good achievements that I'll take with me.
Yep, there's two firsts right there.
Either that or I talk too much. I'm not sure which.
No, it's been awesome.
It's been awesome. Thank you.
A few times you have people come on and you have to kind of prompt and stuff and carry on. But this has been like a conversation in a pub style. So I really appreciate that.
No, it's cool,
so
man.
you're welcome back anytime.
All right.
And good luck with the DRL.
Cheers, man. Thank
if you do get through, don't know whether you might do. We'll see.
We'll see.
All right, man. All right. Well,
hopefully I'll see you in some races in the future as well, whatever they may be.
Yeah. Are you going to? I was looking again to Korea, but I think that's in September time. But it's unlikely I'm going to get over there.
I definitely want to. It's just finding the funds, I guess, is the issue. So I've left Furious FPV. I kind of haven't announced it yet, but we kind of parted ways a little bit.
First for the podcast. Woohoo!
Yeah. So I mean, for me personally, it's a funding issue really. So I don't know. We'll see what happens over the next few months.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if you make it within DRL, and obviously that might be the way to go.
Exactly.
Or that might open up some other doors, and you can go off to other places and do that. So I think you're winning either way with DRL. So good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
And on that note, thanks for all the listeners, and we'll catch you next time.
See you later.